Dear student, Assalamu alaikum. I am Ali Raza from Maryland High School and I am your teacher of physics. Today our topic is evaporation. Student, ever you observe that in hot summer our clothes dry quickly? On the other hand, did you ever observe that after sweating our body cool in hot summer? On the similar, just like if you throw some acetone on our palm, it will disappear after some seconds. On the other hand, student, did you ever observe that in hot summer we want to wear cotton cloth? Why this? This is all due to the evaporation. So first of all, we should know about that. What is evaporation? Evaporation is a process in which liquid changes vapor in gaseous form from the surface of the liquid without heating it. Similar, just like I said earlier, evaporation is a process in which the liquid change into vapor gaseous form from the surface of the liquid without heating it. Now the student, first of all, we discuss the phenomena or the process behind the evaporation. So just like student, first of all, take a beaker. Take a beaker and now put some water in the beaker. Also place a lid on this beaker. In other words, to close this beaker. So the student, you know that the water particles are always in a constant motion. So if they are in a constant motion, they collide with each other. Now the student, if we expose this water into the air, in other words, if we open this beaker into the air, or in other words, if we remove this lid and expose the water into the air, the particles of the water also collide with the air particles. So whenever the particles of the water or particles of the liquid collide with the air particles, their energy are going to be increased. So whenever their energy going to be increased, in reality, now the student, as I said earlier, if we put this water into the air, so whenever we expose this water into the air, the particles of the liquid collide with the particles of the air. So whenever the particles of the liquid collide with the particles of the air, their energy going to be increased. In other words, surface particles energy going to be greater than intermolecular force. So first of all, we should know that what is intermolecular force. Intermolecular force is the force that actually tied the liquid particles in the beaker and does not want to escape from that beaker. So again I repeat, intermolecular force is the force that tied the liquid particles in the beaker and does not allow that particles to expose from the beaker. So whenever the particles of the liquid collide with the air particles, the energy going to be increased. So whenever the energy going to be increased, actually the surface particles energy greater than intermolecular forces. Intermolecular forces, that force that is actually tied the liquid particles in the beaker and that does not allow to escape from the beaker. So whenever this particles energy is greater than these particles going into the air and change their state. So student, that is the process behind this. Whenever we say that the liquid change their state, or that you can say that liquid going into the gaseous form. Now the student, this is the process we are going to discuss some factors on which the evaporation is depend. So the first factor is so the student, evaporation is also depend upon some factors, and that factors are So the first factors of evaporation is that temperature. Student, temperature has the directly proportional to the evaporation rate. Just like you can say that if the temperature is greater, then the evaporation rate is also the greater. Just like I say earlier, we observe that in hot summer, you can say that our cloth will dry quickly. That is due to the greater temperature. So if the temperature is the greater, then the evaporation rate is also the greater. The second factor is that nature. Nature of liquid. In nature of liquid, student, if any liquid is boiling point is lower, then its evaporation rate is high. Just like you can say that if we take two liquid, one is water and second is ether. So student, as you know that water boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius and ether boiling point is 34 degrees Celsius. Now the student, as I say earlier, which liquid is boiling point is lower will evaporate quickly as compared to others. So here you can observe that ether boiling point is lower as compared to water. So ether will evaporate quickly as compared to the water. Now the students, we discuss about the third factor of the evaporation, and that is the surface area of the liquid. In surface area of the liquid, students, is also the directly proportional to the evaporation. Just like students, you can say that if the surface area is the greater, then the evaporation rate is also the greater. From one example, we will understand how can we say that. Just like student, if we have a hot milk in a cup, now if we drop this or put this milk into the bowl, this milk will be cool quickly as compared to the cup, because the surface of the cup is very lower. So whenever we put this milk into a bowl, the surface area is going to be greater. So that is why the milk will cool quickly as compared to the cup. That is why you can understand that the evaporation rate of the surface is greater when the surface area is greater. So the fourth factor of the evaporation is that wind. So the student, wind has also the direct relation with the evaporation. If wind is fast moving, then evaporation rate is also very fast. Just like student, you can say that if wind is moving very fast and we want to dry our cloth, so our cloth will be dry quickly as compared to if wind is not moving very fast, because whenever the wind is moving, the particles of the liquid will also moving away with the wind. So that is why you can say that wind has also direct relation with the evaporation. If the wind is moving very fast, evaporation rate will also very fast. From the dry of our cloth is an examples of the wind. So student, these are the four factors on which the now the student, we will once review this our today lecture, and today we discuss about the evaporation. Evaporation, just like you can say that, is a process in which liquid change into vapors, gaseous form from the surface of the liquid without heating it. First of all, we discuss about the process behind whenever we say that liquid change into the vapor. As I say earlier, the water particles are in their constant motion, so that is why they collide each other every time. Just like we take a beaker, put some water in that beaker. So as I say earlier, the water always in a constant motion, they collide with each other. So whenever we put the water and expose into the air, the water is also collide with the air particles. So whenever they collide with the air particles, their energy going to be increased. Actually, the surface particles energy going to be increased with the intermolecular forces. Intermolecular forces is actually a force that tied the liquid particles in the beaker and does not allow to escape from the liquid. So whenever the surface particles energy greater than intermolecular forces, the liquid particles going into the gaseous liquids form and goes into the air. So that is was the process. Now then we will discuss about the some factors on which the evaporation is depend. So the first factor is the temperature. We will discuss the some factors of the evaporation. Evaporation depend upon some factor. First factor is the temperature. Is the temperature is the greater, evaporation rate is also a very greater. Just like we says that in hot summer we can say that our cloth dry quickly because the temperature is greater. If the temperature is the greater, then the evaporation rate is also very greater. Second thing we discuss nature of the liquid. If the nature of the liquid, just like if the liquid have lower boiling point, then their evaporation rate is very high. Just like I say earlier, ether will evaporate quickly as compared to water because ether has lower boiling point. And the third thing we discuss surface area of the liquid. If the surface area is the greater, then the evaporation rate is also very greater. Just like if we have a hot milk in our cup and if we put that hot milk in a bowl, that milk will be cool quickly as compared to the cup because the surface area of the bowl is greater. And at the end we discuss about the fourth factor of the evaporation, and that is the wind. Wind has also direct relation with the evaporation. Just like if the wind is moving very fast, you can say that our cloth dry quickly because when wind is moving, the particles of the liquid also move with the wind, so our cloth are. So student, this was our today lecture. Hope so you understand that, and your assignment for your home is that you have to observe that where you can say that there is a evaporation is going to, just like humidity, you have to research about that, the humidity, what is humidity, and either there is any relation with that humidity. I say is one thing that humidity also has the relation with the evaporation, but humidity has inverse relation with the evaporation. If humidity is higher, then the evaporation rate is also very low. So you have to discuss or you understand the humidity in your home. That this is your assignment. Hope so you understand today lecture. Thank you.